All right. Number 10, appointments to the City Council regional boards and committees. I do want to share with you that this has been a challenging project. And I want to acknowledge the efforts of staff. I know they've done some work on this, and I know our city attorney and his office have done some work on this as well. And even as recently as tonight, there are still some things that are being discovered. I'm hopeful that as we wrap this up, we can continue to move ahead. Selecting committee appointments is not an easy task. There are all of us are qualified for any of the positions on here. It's just sorting through something that looks equitable, takes advantage of talent where it's available, and again, I think equity is a big thing. There's a couple things I need to make mention of. And first I'm going to talk about is Gilsizer Drainage District. There was some initial information passed to me that indicated that the mayor could not be on the Gilsizer Drainage District. Come to find out that that is not necessarily the case. So the appointment list has been revised to include both myself and Councilman Kirchner for the Gilsizer Drainage District Board of Directors, as it's my understanding the mayor has to be on that district Board of Directors. The other one was we discovered that on the Greater Sacramento Economic Council that the city manager, by their rules or regs, was to be appointed to the GSEC. I'll use the acronym. In doing some research, it certainly didn't appear that that was being carried out by all entities, because there's quite a few different elected officials on GSEC, but in accordance with us trying to adhere to do the right thing per our city attorney, the city manager is the appointed person, but I am recommending and asking for approval when we approve the list or consider approving the list that Vice Mayor Shaw needs that the city manager would appoint Vice Mayor Shaw to the GSEC. And the reason that this is important to our city is over the past few years at least, there seems to and I'm going to pick my words carefully here. The effort here is to link our local economic development commission with the Greater Sacramento Economic Commission. And I think having one person serve on both boards makes a lot of sense. There should be some linkages. There should be an ability to share information and improve communication, not only between the city council and these various boards, but just to make sure that there's an effort to link the efforts of both boards in the best interests of the citizens of Yuba City. The final was one that came to Sierra and I about maybe 2 hours ago, and that's on the Regional Housing Authority. There is some ambiguity in the Housing Authority bylaws as to whether one or two council members can be appointed. I had appointed two. I had appointed Councilman Harris and myself. Out of an abundance of caution, I'm going to continue to recommend appointing two council members, with the second person being appointed subject to confirmation of that seat, and we'll be working with the Regional Housing Authority in regards to that. But that concludes my presentation. Be happy to entertain any questions, concerns, comments from the council.
The Mayor, if I may?
Please.
Just wanted to quickly, having been there, acknowledge the effort that this took. So I appreciate the work, and I think you made some good choices, some good decisions, clarified some things that had came up, and I appreciate your effort. So thank you.
Thanks.
Yeah, through the mayor, my sentiments exactly. I know how much work I've seen you put into this, trying to align everything strategically with the best interest of the city, and opening up Pandora's box with all of this and fixing it. So as your wingman for the year, I appreciate you fixing it this year. So thank you, Mr. Mayor.
To the mayor, I'd just like to echo what the vice mayor just said. I appreciate the time and work that this took. Just one question, information on when and where moving forward on the committee assignments.
So my plan is to work with staff to address or make sure that all the different commissions know who their appointees are. There's already been a few confusion moments with who's going where. But after tonight's meeting, if we do approve this, then those things are, those appointments are in effect. And then for those of us who have been on committees and who aren't any longer on a committee, it's hoped that you will hand off any information to those that are taking your spot. And I know that the interim city manager and myself would be happy to line out when those meetings are. And I know Sierra does a real good job, and Judy, of letting us know when those meetings are occurring.
Thank you, Mayor.
Sierra's preparing letters to go out to all of the various entities on here to let them know who the assignments are. And then also Judy, for Councilman Kirshner, is preparing a list of the times and dates of the various meetings so that you have that together. If any other council members would like that, she could do that for you as well.
I will make a recommendation after having been a rookie myself one time, is pay attention to the Form 700 filings. There are different, depending upon the committee that you're selected to, there are some requirements for political action forms. So, Councilmember Espandola.
You're the mayor. What else can I say? The gentlemen have already said how hard you've worked for us and trying to do this in the most equitable way. I am truly excited about the idea. Where is it? I lost it. Feather River air quality. So I'm going to, who was doing Feather River air quality before? Was that Mr. Cardoza?
Probably Manny, yeah.
So one of the things I've also learned in the last couple of years that I would request, maybe we can consider a better process of transition, so if we're moving out from one to the other, that maybe as a council, each of us can talk to each other a little bit about what we did on that committee if we're no longer on that committee. I just find it beneficial to do that. If any other council members find that need, I'd be more than happy to sit down with you and share what I've learned or been able to be part of in the last year within some of those committee assignments.
I think that's a great comment. I think the other thing that I would ask this council to do is that when you go to one of these meetings that's representing us, is to carry the information back. And that can either be in writing and distributed through the city manager or reported out during council reports and communications. I think sometimes things happen at meetings and it may be another week or two before we get back here, and sometimes information that's discussed at these meetings isn't, is not shared. I don't believe it's intentional by any means. I just think things happen. And these committees are doing, some important work in our community, and it's important that, and I'm going to do my best if I'm at LAFCO, which I'll report on later, to let you know what happened with LAFCO as it relates to the city of Yuba City. So if we can concentrate on some of that on reports and communications, I think it would be helpful in communication. So.
And Mayor, I also add that when we are alternates, you and I have been alternates on committees, and we've been respectful about letting each other know, hey, can you cover for me if you're an alternate? That's really works out really nicely. If you're the primary and you're not able to, and you know that you're not going to be able to make it, giving some fair advance notice is really appreciated as well.
Yes, I agree. So I'm looking for approval.
Through the mayor, I move that we approve the appointments to city council regional committees and an action to update, modify the composition membership on committees.
Second.
Mr. Mayor?
I know,
Comment.
I know where you're coming from. Do we have any comments from the public on this item?
No public comment.
Is that it? Thank you. Okay. Have a motion and a second to approve the appointments to the City Council Regional Committees. And so can all those in favor signify by saying aye?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposition? None being heard, so we have the City Council Regional Committees established. Thank you.